Hello, and welcome to Human Anatomy and Physiology 2, also known as Bio 202. Today we will be starting our first unit, the endocrine system in blood. The objectives of this unit include identifying the primary organs and tissues of the endocrine system, identifying the major hormones produced by the endocrine system, the stimulus for their release, and their primary target organs, identifying and understanding the feedback mechanisms that control the release of hormones by the endocrine system, identifying the formed elements or cells of blood, describing how blood typing is performed and why preventing transfusion reactions is critical, understanding which blood donor or donors are appropriate for a given recipient. The endocrine system is a diverse group of ductless glands that plays a major role in maintaining the homeostasis of multiple physiological variables. This group of ductless glands works closely with the nervous system, but differs in their use of hormones rather than neurotransmitters. These hormones are released into the bloodstream and typically act on a distant target, making their effect not immediate, but rather longer lasting. In this unit, you will be introduced to anatomy, histology, and physiology of the endocrine organs and hormones. To finish this unit, you will be taking the role of endocrine detective and will be solving 3 endocrine mysteries. In exercise 1-1, you will be acknowledging and learning more about the endocrine system anatomy. In this exercise, you will be learning further about the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, pineal gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, thymus, adrenal gland, pancreas, testes, and ovaries. It is these organs that have hormone secretion as a primary function and therefore must be investigated further when learning about the endocrine system. After learning about the endocrine system anatomy, in exercise 1-2, you will be examining endocrine organ histology. In this exercise, you'll be examining the histology of 3 endocrine organs acknowledged before: the thyroid gland, the adrenal gland, and the pancreas. There are keys to identification of each tissue type. Be sure to pay attention to these key characteristics, as you will be using colored pencils to draw what you observe on the provided prepared slides of these glands in Procedure 1. Now, in exercise 1-3, you will be learning about negative feedback loops. As learned previously, the stimulus of secretion is generally a disturbance in the homeostasis of a particular physiological variable. The hormone's response then is to act on a distant target cell to cause changes that restore said variable to normal range. When homeostasis is restored, the activation of the glands and concentration of the hormone declines. It is this type of response that is a negative feedback loop. It's your turn. Utilize your knowledge of a negative feedback loop to trace a hormone's negative feedback loop from the initial homeostatic disturbance through the hormone's effect on the target cell to restore homeostasis, and finally the decline of the concentration of the hormone in the blood. We've been talking about the endocrine system for a bit now, so let's turn our focus to an important component of the endocrine system and our entire body: blood. In exercise 1-4, you will be learning about the formed elements or cells within blood. Blood consists of 2 main components: plasma, the fluid portion of blood, and formed elements, the cellular portion of blood. Taking up approximately 45% of the volume of whole blood, formed elements consist of 3 classes: erythrocytes, platelets, and leukocytes. As you investigate further, be sure to pay attention to differences and similarities of these classes, their respective functions, as well as the different types of cells observed in each of these 3 classes. After learning about blood and its formed elements in exercise 1-5, you will be learning about and further investigating blood donation. A blood transfusion is the transfusion of a recipient with the donor's blood cells and involves medical professionals learning about the patient's blood type and then finding a suitable or matching donor. As you learn more, understand why exactly finding a matching donor is necessary and what it means for people to have a certain type of blood. At the end of this unit, you will notice review questions covering the material learned, the endocrine system, and blood. Be sure to fill these out thoroughly using the knowledge gained, as these questions are the perfect review to prepare for your practical. Thank you for joining me as we started to investigate the endocrine system in blood. Have fun as you continue to dive deeper, and I'll see you for the next unit.